All right, welcome everyone to the VGF Strat Corner podcast. I am your host, Scott, aka Zhang on the boards, and pretty special guest this time around. I know it's been a while since we did a last recording, but final round was last weekend, and pretty big event here in the States for any of you who don't live in America. So didn't want to kind of clash with that since. Pretty much anyone was at final round. So first things first, let me introduce my guest from Big New York, the Big Apple, the Exalted. What's going on, man?
Hey, how's it going, man?
Not too bad. So quick question is, are you actually in New York City or are you somewhere else in the state?
I am in New York City, born and raised in New York City.
So you are from the Big Apple. You're there.
I'm there.
Nice. Well, I'm really excited to have you on because, you had such a good outing at final round. And, I guess it's a very, very awesome coincidence that I, still had Lei to do. And then you have this this great performance at final round. Maybe a lot of people out there, have looked at the final round results, seen your name on there, but just for those who may not know where you are, you said you came from New York, but kind of give us a background on who you are, like what game did you start playing first? Have you always been playing Lei? That sort of thing.
Okay, like you said, the Exalted, the BAD Exalted, it's boiling and dangerous, that's what BAD means. I have to thank Millions from Virginia for giving me that. But, I'm from New York City. I've, been part of this community for a bit now, since 5.0 came out. I've always been a fan of the game Tekken. I've played since Tekken 1, with my friends and, at home. I, interestingly enough, didn't start off as a Lei player. Lei was one of my secondaries. I like Lei because I'm a Jackie Chan fan. That's why I play Lei. But I was more of a King and a Hachi player. Those were my two favorite characters back in the day. So when 5.0 came out, a player from New York that was a Lei player said he was the best, and me being egotistical said, no, I'm the best, and turns out, no, I wasn't the best. He truly was the best Lei player at that time in New York. So it made me obsess about it. I wanted to be the best, so I just kept practicing with Lei, and now I'm a Lei player in New York. I'm generally considered probably one of the best players in New York as far as Tekken is concerned, but I'm always trying to improve, so hopefully I'll get better, and that's just what I try to do. Try to improve, try to get better, try to encourage other people to get better, and see where it goes from there.
Well, considering final round, tied for fifth, and there were some really big names at final round. I know Anakin won, but you had GM who was in there. Even I don't know if any Koreans showed up. I think there was a Japanese player, right? He got second.
Yes, I was there. There were no Koreans at this one. No.
Unfortunately, they didn't want to come and lose.
But we're ready for them now. After 3 years of this game being out, we're ready for them.
Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, they're playing tag too. They're like, oh wow, you still play this ancient game? One thing, it's been actually a long time since I've seen you in person, but one thing that I always remember whenever somebody says the Exalted, and I don't know if you still do this, I hope you do, but every time I've ever seen you in person, you're always dressed up. You got the nice pants on, the Gucci, Are you still doing that, or did you kind of laid back?
I'm trying. That's what the ballin' is about. So I try to fulfill the ballin' in my name, and dangerous is how I play. So I'm supposed to be dangerous when I play Tekken, but the ballin' is supposed to be the whole, the shades, the fresh cut, the nice blazer, the look. The look is ballin'. So that's what I try to aim for.
Yeah, because that was one thing that I always enjoyed, because the gamer community, and not just fighting games, but just nerds in general, they're not very classy. So we're always in some beat up shorts and our friggin' Mario shirt, and whatnot. So it's refreshing to see somebody that's dressed in a suit or something every once in a while. So
yeah.
All right, cool. Well,
just a little thing. Yeah. At final round, there were two individuals that walked up to me well dressed and said I encouraged them to actually come to the tournament better dressed.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that was a nice pat on the shoulder.
Which is good, because you got to encourage people to do that somehow, and why not make them jealous? The jealousy makes people do a lot of things. So, well, excellent. That's anything else that you want to add about yourself before we actually start some Lei?
No. BAD, blah blah, exalted. That basically covers it all.
Cool. So, okay, so then let's talk about Lei. Now, you said you didn't start with Lei, but I know that you've been playing Lei a while.
Right.
So, just based on what I've heard and seen, so is he it in Tekken 6? Like he's the guy. There's no other like secondary main or anything like that. You just focused on him.
Well, I have secondaries, but as New York will agree with me, they all kind of suck compared to my Lei, comparatively to my Lei. But I focus a lot on Lei because, like I said, I'm always trying to get better with the guy. So it's never a point when I'm like, okay, I got this guy down pat. There's always something I'll think about and say I can get better. So I'm always trying to get better with him. So yeah, he's it for as far as competitive Tekken is concerned for me. Lei is everything.
Gotcha. And did you play 6.0, or did you, like most of us, did you have to wait until it hit console?
Okay, and I say this with all respect for everyone that enjoyed 6.0, but 6.0 made me want to punch myself in the face. It was so stupid, in my opinion. Lei was Jinpachi. He should have been a boss character in that game. He was utterly ridiculous. I played it about maybe a few times. I love the game. I love Tekken. So, of course, I the new graphics, the new engine and everything. But, yeah, Lei was stupid. I don't like stupidity with a character. I like a character to make sense. And Lei just did not make sense in 6.0, but we did have it in New York for a little while, and I did play it, yes.
Yeah, well, that's actually exactly why I was asking, because I remember not long before BR hit, the rest of the world got it, not the few people who happen to have 6.0 machines. But I just remember hearing that, Lei was retarded, and I don't remember if I heard that he was the best character in the game, but every time that I heard somebody talk about him, there was no doubt that they were talking of him as the best character.
Yeah, if he wasn't the best, he was the best friend. They were close. The character was just utterly ridiculous. In I think Korea, there was a Beck player, played Beck, loved Beck, picked up Lei, dropped Beck for Lei because it was just utterly just easy mode to win with the guy. It was the most easiest, just so easy and horrible. I didn't enjoy it at all.
Okay, well then, since he was so busted in 6.0, then let's kind of jump into the BR discussion with that. So what? I'm guessing that he was just an all-around awesome character in 6.0. So what kind of changed in BR? Like, where did they kind of separate him and make him more weak than what he was in 6.0? Like, what areas?
I tend, and this is another thing that's just about me, I'm very optimistic when it comes to Lei. It's kind of hard to make me say, okay, Lei is weak, or Lei is nerfed, or Lei will die instantly if you try to play him at high level. I think BR Lei is really well balanced. For one, Lei has a move, back turn. You go back turn and you do down 1. That's a 12-frame move. If your back turn is 12 frames. So you have a 12-frame sweep. That's an instant high crush. And that's like negative, I think it's negative 9 on block. Then turn it around, make as 3 frames. So it's like negative 11 altogether on block. In 6.0, that tripped on normal hit, as it's always done in Tekken. The problem was, in 6.0, it was really easy to get away with it because it was a lot safer than it was in DR. DR, if you tried it and it got blocked, you got launched. And it was so freaking fast. So, basically, a Hell Sweep, which is considered like, oh my god, consider your Hell Sweep, is 16 frames. Yeah. It's 16 frame low. And it's really fast, and I know you can't see a Hell Sweep. So take 4 frames off that, and that's what you had with Lei. So you had basically a Hell Sweep that was coming at you at 12 frames. There was no blocking that, period. Not a Lei player that knew what he was doing. So that's one thing that they changed. In BR, they took that away. They made it so that it only gives plus frames on hit, and it trips on counter hit, which it should be used for. You should use it you see a jab coming, go back turn to crush it. Secondly, Lei had a move that was back turn 2, It was a mid launcher that I have to laugh about this because this is so stupid when I think about it. He had a mid launcher from back turns as well. So you make someone scared of the back turn down one in 6.0. The low is so fast I can't see it, and then you slightly slow it down so that they think they're seeing it. So that you say, oh man, oh well, I see it. Let me duck it. Let me do this. But he had a back turn mid launcher that also gave him nearly half life, and they took that away. And the thing about Lei, he still has a reverse hop kick, but it has a weird hitbox, so sometimes it won't hit. The back turn launcher had the biggest hitbox on Earth, so you were always going to get launched if he put you in his mix-up. So, and it also launched crouching, it launched stand. It was just a stupid move. So yeah, they changed that as well.
Yeah, I think most characters have that, the weird hitbox on the back turn hop.
Yes, so. Which it's tolerable.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Okay, so they took away that sort of busted stuff, but I know that I still see Lei going into back turn all the time. So I guess let's just talk about back turn for a second. How often is it used? Is it still really strong even though those moves got weakened a little bit? Or?
Yes, it's still very strong because you still have back turn down one that gives about +5, +6 on hit. So once you hit someone with a back turn down one, which is a low, they're instantly in another mix-up. So you can do it again because there's no crush frames. Unless you have a move that instant crushes, you can't get out of this. If Lei keeps doing back turn down one, you keep getting hit by it. You can't get out of it. Also, another thing that they added that wasn't in any other game is that back turn down one can't be low parried. So in previous Tekkens, you could low parry it if you saw it. In this Tekken, you can't low parry. So you have to either block it or, crush it, but you can't low parry it. So that's another great thing that they added to the move.
That's good to know. I actually was not aware that they changed it.
Yeah. So many people aren't aware of that until like the fourth time they get hit with it. And then they definitely have low parried it by now. It's funny when, you see somebody's finger pressing down forward and nothing's happening. I laugh. But,
wow.
But
this guy in this suit laughing at you for your stupidity.
Yeah, with shades on. It's really sad. But yeah, so it can't be low parried, and it has decent range. So
well, I think he moves forward when he does it, doesn't he?
Yes, yeah. He does. He does move towards you when he does it. So like I said, Lei is still a great character. He also has a mid that's 14 frames. It's a back turn mid. And what's great about this move is that you can do this mid. A lot of characters have this mid kick, but Lei is one of the only characters that can do it and then stay in back turn. So it's back turn 4 back. So you can do this mid kick and then go instantly in back turn again, and you put them back in a mix-up. He has a string from it, back turn 4-3, and the 3 is a launcher on, I guess, crouching or counter hit. It's weird. Sometimes I never use that kick unless you're really just feeling yourself that day because it's launch punishable with back turn 4-3. But anyway, the back turn 4 you can press back turn 4 back and he'll go in back turn again, which is really, I don't know, it's really good. So you can do back turn 4 back, go back turn down 1, back turn down 1, back turn down 1. Back, and I've literally won rounds, intermediate to lower level players, just doing that alone, and of course laughing, not at them, but at the fact that I can do that.
I remember back in the day, with like the tag days, we used to call that the no mix-up, where you just keep doing it, and just the fact that they know that there's something else, like just a cheesy jump hop kick, or whatever, scares them into not ducking, and after 8 or 9 times, you'd think you would stop doing the low, but no. The low is still coming.
It's still coming. Yeah, it's really good, especially just to add to that metagame that you just brought up. It's really good, especially in tournament play, because I call it the trash bag remix. That's what I call it in my head. And the trash bag remix is that you become a scrubby player for 1 round. You become the worst scrubby player ever, and you just do this constant thing over and over again until it's punished. You needed to get punished. Mm-hmm. You need them to know that, oh man, I could punish this. What an idiot. And then the next rounds, all preceding rounds, you never do that mix-up again. And you're so in their head because, they think you're a trash bag, you're really bad, that, it almost 70% of the chance guarantees that you'll get the mid better option. Mm-hmm. And that's how Lei works a lot. His lows are just annoying. They're just to annoy you. But the mid is what really does the damage, which really will kill you. And you're so annoyed by the low that eventually you're going to say, okay, forget this, and I'm going to duck. I'm going to do something stupid. And that's where Lei gets a lot of his damage.
And I like that you bring that up too, because it's I see this a lot with new players when they start to pick up the game and they're trying to get hints and tips or whatever from people online. And there's a lot of people who just write off moves or write off certain mix-ups, and they're just like, this is trash, you can get punished for it, don't use it. And a lot of new players, they don't understand, mostly because no one tells them, but the more that you give your opponent to think about, the better. I mean, it really doesn't matter what it is. I mean, even if it's a slow-ass low that you can see a mile away, if you use it once, that's all you need to do.
100%, I agree with that. It's like a multiple choice test.
Yeah.
How many kids would have great grades if multiple choice test was just A and B? Option A, option B. Versus how bad would kids be in school if it was like 18 options? Like one question had 18 options. And I agree with you, because that's what Lei is. He's a lot of options. You put a lot on the table. You make your opponent think about a lot, and then you overwhelm them with just the amount of choices that Lei has, which is, I think, really great.
And it's worth noting to newer players as well that literally, if your opponent is watching for one thing, something that you're not doing, it literally adds to the amount of frames, or the amount of time, I should say, not frames, that they have to react, because their brain has to switch from stopping watching that move or watching for that move, and then now they have to focus on something else. So you're giving yourself time if you do that. So.
Completely agree. It's especially in this game, because a lot of the punishments are just on the dime. Mm-hmm. Things are negative 15 on a dime, negative 10 on a dime. So when you're anticipating something, your finger's on that down forward 2. Your finger's ready for the jab. But when something else happens, when there's a delay in something, then you're like, that one frame that you should have been inputting something, you didn't. Mm-hmm. And that can cost you punishment. That can cost you a lot. And a lot of times, I'm playing someone, and even I'm playing, and I'll say, man, I know I punished that, but I was slow on it, but what was going on? And it's that, that slight delay that, a good player can allow you to just put yourself into because of the mix-ups, the opportunities.
And that's actually my main problem with Lei that you just mentioned, because I don't have a lot of Lei experience. We don't really have any Lei players around here in the Midwest, and
no one does.
No one does. It's true. So I'm always like, okay, I know his move list is like 300 moves. So I don't know what's going on. I'm just gonna guess. I'm just gonna randomly guess what he's doing. I'm not gonna watch for anything. I'm just gonna hope that I picked right. But so anyway, I didn't kind of mean to derail us too much. But so anything else about back turn, or I can't even remember what movie.
Another thing, back turn. Lei has back turn, which all characters that can go back turn, all characters period have it. He has a back turn throw. The great thing about this back turn throw though is that I'm pretty sure he's probably the only one, or maybe Ling has it as well. Or I don't think Raven has it. Anyway, let me just go to my point. When Lei does his back turn throw, he stays in back turn. That's something that most characters don't do. Most characters, if they do a back turn throw, they reorientate. Lei is one of the only characters that stays in back turn. I'm pretty sure he's in the minority when it comes to that. So that's another good thing about his back turn game.
So is that a completely separate grab, like a command grab, or just from his regular 2 or...
Just regular, 1, 3, 2, 4. Lei will stay in back turn.
Gotcha. So, well, I guess is it the same grab no matter which one you do? Like same animation? Or?
No. Yeah, it's the same animation, yes. All back turn throws have the same animation.
Oh, no, sorry, I mean like,
over their shoulder.
The exact same grab, like, so it just comes out as a regular...
No, you can either do 1, 3, or 2, 4.
Okay.
So he has 2 options for his throws from back turn.
Okay. Yeah, I love back turn grab mix-ups because it's a true 50-50. You can't see the arms. It's even if you do see the arms, there's no guarantee that that's the throw that you're going to break. So cool. So is that it for back turn? Did you get it all, or
did I get it all? Lows, mids. Oh, he also has like this. Well, I mean, it's not the greatest move. Like I said, back turn two used to be a launcher, but they took that out because it was stupid. Um, so now he has a new back turn two, and this game it's not a true homing move. It can be stepped, but in a tag, I'm not going to go in tag, but in tag it is a homing move. But in this game, you do it. It's a great ender because Lei is a kung fu master. He knows like all these forms, but this one punch, back turn two, he just turns around and punches the opponent in the face. That's all he does. It's no kung fu. It's straight from the hood. He just punches you in the face. That's why I got to give a special mention to that move, and that's the end of back turn.
Just because it's straight, that that's the finale of back turn, straight hood.
Hood punch. It's very, why are you behind me? I'm going to punch you in the face.
Gotcha. Okay, so we kind of came into the Lei discussion kind of at an angle and started with back turn for no real reason, just because we could. Yeah. But so let's kind of go into just the straightforward game. So when at the start of the match, you're both looking at each other and you're evenly spaced apart. So as a Lei player, because most of our listeners, I think, when they listen to these podcasts, are looking on how to try to play with the character rather than against. So I guess let's start with that. So you're the Lei player and you're starting off a match. Is your whole entire goal to get into his stances, or is it mostly straight up, I'm facing you and just doing regular moves? Because he obviously has all this stance stuff. Are you just trying to...
He has a lot of stances.
What's your goal?
Depends. On an intermediate level to a mid-level player, you want to use a lot of stances, in my opinion. The reason why, because it's a lot of easy damage. Like you said, Lei is pretty much a secret character in the game. People don't use him. People don't really know about him. They see him, they're like, oh, I didn't know he was in this game, and that's cool. They don't know, they don't really see a Lei player. It's like a oddity. So you want to use a lot of, his stance mix-ups. The problem is when a player has experience with Lei, they understand the engine that he runs on. They understand the risk-reward, i.e., his lows really don't do much. The mid is what you want to watch out with. The mid can be stepped, blah, blah. So when it comes to starting a match with Lei, you want to use... Razor Rush. Razor Rush is a great move. 4 neutral, 1-2, 1-2, 4, or 1-2, 1-2, 3. That's his bread and butter move. That's probably on my list. It's number 2, but it's the number 1 move for all Lei players. Razor Rush. It puts pressure on your opponent. It makes them block. It's really, really annoying. So you want to get into about range 1 or range 0. That's where Razor Rush is most effective in this game. So you do that, and that's a great opener. That's a great way to to open up your opponent's offense, to see where they're at defensively. It's a great move all around.
All right, so let's go into the stances then, rather than just focusing on the straight standing up game. So you're talking to a medium, intermediate level player, and you're asking to go into the stances. So which stances are best? Which ones are you looking for?
Okay, like I said, I'm very much a optimist when it comes to Lei. So all of his stances are great. Some are just better than others. The hub stance, the stance that everything basic goes around, is his snake stance. That's done with a lot of ways to transition to snake. You can do down forward 2 forward. You can do side step 2-3, side step 1-4, forward 2-3, back 2-3. There's a lot of ways. Down 4, hold down. There's so many ways to go in a snake, and the reason why is because it's probably, it's the highest level stance. It's a hub stance that leads to 2 other stances. It leads to Panther, it leads to Dragon, and those are 2 very crucial stances. The great thing about snake stance is that it has an 11 frame high move that on counter hit is all guaranteed. So, he has snake 1-1-1-1-1, and if the first hit connects counter hit, the rest are going to, connect. What's great about that is that it's also a high, and it can't really be interrupted. It can be crushed, but it can't be interrupted. So most individuals will come in, say, oh man, Lei is in snake stance. Let me just knock him out of it with a down forward 1. Now, that seems like a good idea because most down forward 1's 13 frames. However, since Lei has an 11 frame move, If I do, the 1-1-1-1 and I hit on counter hit, I get all of that damage from every single snake 1-1-1, which is about 5 hits, and I can't even. It's the damage on that it's a lot.
Yeah, I think
It's a good.
I think it's like just a tad under 50.
It's a tad under 50 exactly.
It's like 49.
It's like 49, 48 damage. So that's really, 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 really good. He also has another move that's 11 frames again, and that's Snake 1-2-1. What's great about Snake 1-2-1 is, once again, it's 11 frames, and it's high, mid, mid. The thing about Snake 1-2-1 is that on hit, they're all guaranteed. So once you hit a person with Snake 1-2-1 is guaranteed, and it leads to a Panther mix-up free. It leaves them in Panther, but you automatically get the mix-up. So they can't interrupt you. They can't do anything but kind of look like, what can I do? So you do 1-2-1, you go forward, you're in Panther, you're at +5. So they can't do anything. So that's another great thing about Snake.
So an 11 frame move that leads to a free mix-up and damage.
A free mix-up, yeah.
And you get the damage from the string.
And you get the damage from the string. It's Christmas every time you land that move.
That's pretty nice.
It's pretty nice, and it does about 38 damage, about 40 something on counter hit. So it's a really damaging, stupid move, and I don't think it's stupid. Not like back turn down 1. It's just stupid and isn't good. The other thing Lei has is Snake 2. It's a great move. It's 15 frames, and the thing about Lei is when he does moves, it propels him forward. That's something that a lot of individuals don't really consider when it comes to Lei spacing. So Snake, like I said, Snake 2 is 15 frames. On counter hit, it gives a stun, and it gives a really huge juggle. On regular hit, it's all guaranteed. So Snake 2-2-2 is 3 hits, are all guaranteed, and that gives you, again, a lot of damage. It's maybe 40 something, I believe. Yeah, it's about 40 something damage that it gives you. 48. Okay, that's stupid. I didn't even know that. But it gives you 48 damage. It gives you 48 damage on hit. And on counter hit, you get a juggle. They can break the stun, but it gives you a free juggle opportunity on counter hit. And that's another good move. Also in Snake, Lei has Snake 4. Snake 4 is a low. Now, in previous Tekkens, this low was, it was good, but it didn't hit grounded. So if someone was on the floor and you were in Snake, you had to transition to another stance that actually would do something. Lei didn't have an attack that hit grounded from Snake. In this game, Snake 4 does hit grounded. It's really, it's a good speed. It has a good range. It's it's 0 on hit, and it leads back into Snake. So you hit somebody and Lei is right back in Snake, and they're like, oh my god, he just hit me, let me down forward one him or something, and again Snake 1-1-1 will beat them out. You got to counter hit. So Lei has a lot of great attacks in Snake. He also has high crush. That's not very dependable, but it is a high crush. Snake 1+2 that wall splats, which is also good. So yeah, Snake is a great stance. Great movement in it. He can't block lows unless you cancel it, which with down back. So that's one, thank God, flaw to it. So yeah, that basically covers Snake pretty well.
All right. So it sounded like the 1-2-1 into Panther was pretty important. So let's say, because it sounds like the rest of the transitions that you would likely use in Snake just lead back to Snake. So I guess let's talk about the Panther one then. Like, you've done the 1-2-1, you got your damage, now you're in Panther. Right. So what do you do there?
What you do now is I would usually go with a low poke. But this is kind of going into Panther. So I want Panther is kind of another interesting stance that takes a little time. So yeah, why don't we just go into Panther?
Well, yeah,
So
I figured because of all the stances that we're going to be here
yeah,
for 5 hours, so I've already set aside my time. So yeah, whatever you have to say about these stances, please don't let me cut
okay.
you off.
No, it's no problem. Yeah, so you go into Panther, and Lei has his Panther stance, and from Panther he has it sounds stupid, but he has an 11 frame low again. So you have an 11 frame low. There are no crush frames. That's like not an instant crush frame that will beat out a Panther 1 on you, because you know most low crushes require starter frames. Hop kick requires a starter frame. So if you catch someone with Snake 121, they won't be able to hop kick you. They're not at the frames to do it. It'll happen. It's Tekken, but they shouldn't be able to do it. It's happened to me. I'm like, dude, you shouldn't be able to do that. But it's 11 frame low from that again, it gives him +3 and leaves the opponent in crouch. So that's another good thing from Panther, and that's just Panther 1. So Panther is the low stance. He has his arms out. He kind of looks not like a Panther, actually. I've never seen a Panther stand like that. But he looks like a dude who's really low to the ground and with his hands toward the opponent. He also has Panther 1-2. It's 1 till 2. You have to do it in quick succession. Now, in previous, this was nerfed. I can't say this move was nerfed. In previous Tekkens, it gelled. The two attacks gelled. So once you blocked the Panther 1, the 2, you had to block it, and it had this slight pushback. It was still launch punishable, but the pushback made it so that most characters wouldn't be able to punish you. Not very easily or very consistently. In this game, once you block the 1, the 2 whiffs. So it's very easy to launch. It's like -25. It's pretty bad. But the deal with this low Panther 1-2 is that it wall splats. So if your opponent is back to the wall about 1 character distance away, and you do Panther 1-2, you're going to get a wall splat. So again, it's an 11 frame move. It's really good.
Well, yeah, an 11 frame low, that wall splat sounds pretty busted.
Yeah, it's
I mean,
pretty,
granted, you're taking the risk in the chance that they block it, but if you hit it,
yeah.
it's, like you said,
I'm trying to downplay how stupid this character can be at times. But yeah, it's 11 frame low. It's just like Panther 1, but it's launch punishable. And then he has, which is really the move that you want. You want to catch your opponent with this move, and that's Panther 2. Panther 2 is a mid that does like 25, 24 damage. It does a lot of damage, and it gives a really good juggle. And here goes the clincher. It's only -10 on block. So if you mess with your timing, everyone knows that mid is going to come out, and they should jab punish. But at times, an individual will be slightly off timing, and since it's only -10, they'll mess up. They won't be able to block you. So that's his launcher from Panther. It's really good. All late players use it. It's incredible. It's a great move.
Yeah, it's just like if I remember, I just want to make sure I'm thinking of the right move. That he just like cups his hand up, right?
Yeah, it's
kind of lifts you.
Again, it's no kung fu master taught him this. It just said, I'm just going to punch somebody in the chin and knock them in the air.
Yeah.
That's no kung fu.
I always thought of it as like serving dinner. It's like, here's your dinner. Boom.
I'm going to call it that from now on. Serving dinner. It's serving dinner from Panther.
Because it's it's so meaty, and it's just everything that you want about a move. It's right there.
He is serving dinner. But yeah, so he has that move from Panther. The other move that he has from Panther is a new addition in this game. Is his Panther 3. Now, what's interesting about Panther 3 is 2 things. One, it low crushes. So it's a low. Panther 3 is a low that low crushes.
Which is
why did they give him a low that low crushes? I don't know. Don't ask me. But it low crushes. I should also mention that in Panther, when Lei is holding forward, when you're progressing forward, he'll parry all lows that are parryable instantly. He can't be hit with any highs, and if you hold back, he'll block any mid. I mean, any low. He'll block any low if you're holding back, and he'll parry any low if you're going forward.
So
Just
is there any way to block mids?
yes,
Highs will obviously go over him, but
on all of Lei's stances, he can't block mid in any of his stances. Not just well, no, Tiger he can, but we'll get to that later. But the way that you block anything you want is by canceling. When Lei canceled the stance by tapping down back, I guess tapping down back is the way you cancel a stance. You'll be able to block anything instantly. He cancels instantly. So even if it looks like he's still in the stance, as soon as you tap down back, he's able to block anything, guard anything, low block anything he wants. So you have to cancel. So with Panther, Panther forward is a parry, Panther back is the low block. He has a Panther 3, which is, like I said, it's a low crush. He jumps. It's like a jumping low kick that sends him back into Panther. So he does it, and he's back in the Panther. Again, kind of stupid. When you do Panther 3, he's back in the Panther, and he's at +1. So you're at +1, and you still have that 11 frame low, which is now about 10 frames coming at your opponent, or you have that 15 frame mid that's now about 14 frames. So exactly. So he has that Panther low. Now, another thing he has from Panther 3 is Panther 3 back. Now, I don't use this move, but it's really good because if you do Panther 3 and his block is -13, but if you do Panther 3 and go back, it becomes -9, and he goes into the Phoenix stance. Now, like I said, all stances can be canceled. So if you do Panther 3 back, and you go into Phoenix and you cancel Phoenix instantly, it makes Panther 3 safe. It's hard to do, but yeah, he has a safe low from Panther if you're able to master doing Panther 3 back, down, back. Another thing about Panther 3 down, back is that on hit, it gives him +4. And this is a constant thing about Lei, is that when he hits you, you're screwed. That's just the way Lei's mechanic works. If he's blocked, you got him. But if he hits you, he's kind of messed up. And that's the whole principle of Lei. You want to hit, you want to use the frame advantage he gets from hit to propel your offense more forward.
Well, yeah, based on everything that you're saying, that's one kind of common theme that I picked up on. So if I picked up on it, I'm sure everyone else listening picked up on it too. But like if he hits you, like you're stuck. Like you can't go anywhere, even if a move is quote unquote linear. Like you don't have the frames to step it.
Exactly,
you can't do anything.
And that's a lot of times individuals look at Lei's game and they'll say, "Oh man, he doesn't do damage." That's a constant thing. Oh, his juggles don't do damage. Oh, blah 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 this. But Lei is not like, "Oh my God, I'm gonna launch you." He's not a machinist, so he doesn't have an electric. But what he does have is arguably one of the best ground games, at least in my opinion, in Tekken. His ground game is incredible. So once he hits you again, he hits you again, and if you have a knowledge of Lei, you can basically keep hitting a person for a good amount of time before they guess right, and you have to stop hitting them. So that's how Lei works. He propels you onto the next. Lastly, in Panther, he has Panther 4, which is another decent move. Panther 4 is decent because, if you want to use a mind game on someone, you don't do anything in Panther, or not even mind game. Usually intermediate to low-level players see Panther and they immediately think hop kick. They say, "Oh my God, I'm in Panther. He's in Panther. Let me hop kick." Panther 4, generally, it should stop a crush. So if someone tries to do a hop kick or a crush move on you and you do Panther 4, which is this overarching high kick in Panther, it should hit them out of the air and, they won't be able to crush you. So that basically covers it for Panther. It's a great stance. It's probably the most useful stance. I remember one time Fab told me that I used too many moves. Basically, Fab told me. He said all I did is basically need Panther and Razor Rush, and I would probably win. And he's right. All you basically need is a few crucial stances, and Panther is definitely a crucial stance for damage. damage. It's a really good stance.
Gotcha. So everything that you mentioned, it sounds like Panther keeps going back into Panther, well, with the exception of Panther 3 back,
Right.
and which you said that you normally don't use. So you go into Snake, and then you go to Panther, but so it kind of sounds like it ends right there if you don't go into Phoenix or whatever that stance was.
For the most part, with Panther, you do an attack and then you get out of it. That's kind of a crucial thing about Panther. Unlike Snake, Snake is more of a it leads to another stance, generally speaking. But Panther, you do your low damage, you do your mid damage, and you get out of it. So yeah, that's definitely kind of how Panther works.
Gotcha. Okay, so you have Snake, you have Panther, and those are the two, the main ones. So
well, actually, no, I wouldn't say they're the main. See, this is the thing about Lei. He's he has so many good things. I would say the main stances it would be three. Maybe it's kind of interesting. Tiger, which is another one of Lei's stances, which is really good, is also a main stance, and that's when Lei has both arms out towards his palms towards his opponent, and he's doing some weird, kind of steppy thing. That's another very crucial stance. So I would say those are the three. However, Dragon is also crucial. I would say, but I think I should probably go into Tiger from here just to finish the cats.
Okay, so before you start talking about Tiger, how would you transition into Tiger? How would you
Tiger, you can get into Tiger by a few means. You can do down forward 1+2 forward. That's probably the easiest way to get into Panther, and it's also the most abusable one. You can do sidestep 1 forward to get into Panther. Tiger. You can do... What else gets into Tiger? You can also do... and you can go, left. Left in the Dragon will lead you into Tiger as well.
Sorry, you cut out a little bit there. So what was that last one?
Left into Dragon. Well, if you're in Dragon and you go left, you will be in a Tiger as well.
Gotcha. Okay. So you just go into Dragon, then you go left.
Yeah. So that will get you in Dragon. Tiger as well. It kind of gets jumbled up the well. Lei is, it's funny. I've spent years learning all this, and it's still difficult. Like I try to teach people Lei all the time. It's still not the easiest task. Lei is pretty. You need a degree to play this guy sometimes.
Yeah, that's one of the reasons that I don't never.
I can imagine
tried to pick him up.
It's very daunting. It's one of those characters that if you don't have like a love just of the engine, or you're not a Jackie Chan fan like I am, it's really not one of those characters that you say, oh man, I gotta play him. Unless you see somebody play him. I've seen individuals see a Lei player play and they go, man, I gotta pick up Lei. He's cool. But otherwise, you look at his move list and you're like, no, thank you. But yeah, that's how you get into Tiger. Yeah, that's how you get into Tiger.
Okay, and there's nothing rather than tapping up a million times. I take it there's no direct way of getting into Tiger from.
Not now. In Tekken, in the next Tekken iteration, he can go into all stances just from standing.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so they put a little easy mode on that. I'm not going to complain because I'm going to use that too. It's a little easy mode. I like the whole, I need some kind of empirical formula to transition into stances. I like that whole concept. But yeah, in Tag, they made it significantly easier.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, we can always get into Tag goodies later, but okay. So we're in Tiger. What do we do now?
Okay, we're in Tiger, and the great thing about Tiger is that he will parry all mids and highs in Tiger. So if you hold forward, Lei will parry it, if it can be parried. The parry doesn't really give much frame advantage. It's kind of a, oh my god, I've been parried, what's happening kind of thing.
Okay.
So it's not one of those, yay free damage. Lei doesn't have a lot of situations that it's yay free damage, but he does have, oh no, I'm going to get mixed up now.
Mm.
So he'll parry all mids and highs that can be parried in Tiger by holding forward. He'll also block all mids if you hold back, and highs if you hold back. And again, like like I mentioned with all stances, he can't block low in Tiger. So if you want to block low, you're going to have to tap down back to cancel it to block low. As for his moves, he has great moves in Tiger. He has Tiger 1, which is a mid. It's about 15, 16 frames. It gives plus on block, and it gives plus on hit. Interestingly, it gives about the same on hit and block. So the only difference on block, it leaves your opponent in crouching. On hit, it doesn't. So on block, you do Tiger 1, they're at like +2, you're at +2, and they're in crouching. This is good because, a lot of individuals will do, while standing 4, or they'll do a while standing move, but since they're negative, you're positive, if you do down forward 4, for instance, which is for Lei 12 frames, you'll beat them out. Plus, you'll get the counter hit. Plus, you'll get like +7 or something. So that's just a metagame that I use. Individuals say, "Oh, I'm in crouching. Let me do a while standing move." I beat them out with a mid. That's good about that move. Another good thing about the move is 16 frames, and on counter hit, it launches. So you hit somebody with this move on counter hit, they get launched. You get a good juggle. Does a lot of damage. It does like 26 damage. And that's just regular hit. So on counter hit, it does significantly more. It gives a really good juggle. And one of his highest, juggle starters. It hits him pretty high. Also from this move, he has Tiger 2. This is another move that I don't use just because it's kind of slow. It's about 20-something frames. It looks cool, so, that's another, I guess that's a plus to it. And it gives plus frames on hit, like 98% of Lei's moves. But again, it's not really going to propel your offense forward. So I don't use it a lot. A great new addition to this Tekken is Panther 3. What's great about Panther 3 is that
You mean Tiger 3?
I'm sorry, I'm saying Panther. What's good about
even
Tiger?
the Lei experts getting stuff mixed up.
This is like totally jumping.
Silly names. Okay.
It's so many tigers, and I'm going to start saying like hippopotamus 4 in a little while. It's so many animal names. What's good about Tiger 3 is that Tiger 3 is new to this game, and it's an instant low crush. So that was always a weakness in previous seconds. If someone did a low to you, if they were close in Tiger, they would knock you right out of Tiger instantly. Tiger 3 is a mid-low crush. So it's pretty fast, too. It's like, I guess, 17 frames? Yeah, it's about 17 frames or so. And it's -12 on block. So you can be jab punished after it, but it's a high crush. Another great thing about Tiger 3 that is really good is that you can do Tiger 3 forward. Now, Tiger 3 forward is interesting because it puts Lei into a stance that a lot of Lei players call assist snake, but I hate that because it doesn't sound cool. What cool person has a stance called assist snake? So I don't call assist snake. I like, Coiled Viper or something Viper or Angry Viper or anything Viper because Viper sounds cooler than Sit Snake.
But what's the name that Namco gave it?
Namco gave probably like me, like Angry Serpent or something. It's something they didn't call it Sit Snake, that's for sure. Namco definitely didn't call it Sit Snake. That's too lazy and too stupid sounding. All right. So anyway, if you go with Tiger 3 forward, Lei instantly goes into the stance. Now, I mentioned before that Tiger 3 is punishable with jabs. However, if you do the Tiger 3 forward, Lei goes into the stance, and he'll avoid punishment. So if you jab, which is the proper thing to do, Lei goes into the stance, and from the stance, Lei has a mid option, and he also has a low option, and the low option juggles. So basically, you have somebody who's playing good Tekken and they try to block you and they try to punish you, and by blocking you and punishing you, they actually set themselves up to be juggled. So that's really good for Lei.
Does the mid option juggle or does it just give damage?
No, no, the mid option, I believe it wall splats. Yeah, it does wall splat. The mid option wall splats. I believe it wall splats. That's like my favorite option. But it does wall splat. So what's great about Tiger 3? I keep saying what's great about it. What's interesting about it is that on a wall, Tiger 3 wall splats. So most individuals, if they're smart, they'll realize that Lei has a low option. I'll get to that later, but that won't really do any damage. So they shouldn't duck on a wall. But some individuals will duck on a wall. They'll get wall splat. Smarter individuals, high level, won't duck on a wall. So they'll wait for the Tiger 3 and they'll block and they'll punish it. But what's great about that, I keep saying what's great. What's interesting about that is that they try to punish you. Tiger, Koryu Viper, or whatever that stance is, 1+2 will wall splat them anyway. So you get 2 chances to wall splat somebody from Tiger 3.
Nice.
Yeah, so that's really good. Last but not least, not even last, let me go to this move first. Okay, Lei has another new move in Tiger. It's Tiger 1+2. It's one of those moves. It's that's good, but I don't use it. I'll use it occasionally, but yeah, Tiger 1+2 is relatively slow, which is why it shouldn't be used that often. But it's pretty deceptive because the animation looks like Lei is just coming forward in Tiger. It doesn't look like an attack. And what it does is it gives Lei +20 on hit. Now, that sounds good. You're like, oh my, yeah, it sounds great. It's like, Lei, yay, +20. But it's not the good +20, it's the running 3+. So it's like the false positive that no one can do anything. You can't do anything for about 20 frames, but nothing is guaranteed for Lei. But it takes away your neutral block for 20 frames. You can't do anything. You can't attack. You can't move. But Lei doesn't get anything guaranteed from Tiger 1+2. And it's safe on block, so it's good. That's good. But yeah, it's not a move that I would ever say, yay, use that move because it's so great.
Gotcha.
Last but not least is Tiger 4, which is the infamous move. It's probably what everyone is scared of in Tiger, and for good reason. It's a low move. It's 15 frames. So it's faster than a hell sweep. It's really fast. It's a juggle starter, and it does damage. You get a decent juggle from it. And yeah, that's the move that everyone is generally afraid of in Tiger. Once you put your arms out, that's the move that everyone's anticipating, and that's what they're watching out for. So I would say that move is probably the most crucial just because of the fact that it's the most well-known move from Tiger, and it sets up your mids a lot.
So does you mentioned when you do with your opponent has their back against the wall and you do Tiger 3 forward, and then you have the low, which is the 4, but it doesn't really lead to all that good damage because of the wall. The wall kind of
actually, oh, it's a good point. If you do Tiger 1+2, you get a wall splash, which is generally what I'll do from that low stance that I said that you can go to from Tiger. However, the low also will juggle them as well. The difference is you get a wall splat and you can it's a low wall splat. You can backdash. You can get 2 more hits into an added. No, it wall stuns into a wall splat. The mechanics of Tekken 6, I have a problem with actually wording it. I know how to do it, but wording it is difficult at times. But yeah, the low will also juggle them. So either way, they're kind of screwed with that.
Okay, so even if you do the low with their back against the wall, it doesn't mess you up too much so that you can't get wall juice.
No. When I said the low from Tiger, I was referring to Tiger 4. Tiger 4, once their back is to the wall, you really won't get a lot of damage.
Okay.
So if you do Tiger 4, just plain Tiger 4 on someone, you won't get that much damage. I think the most you'll get probably it's Tiger 4, down back 2 while standing 3. Or, maybe a 4-4-2, maybe, with certain characters. but generally you won't. It's not very damaging.
Gotcha.
So that was the low I was referring to.
I see.
The other low from the Tiger 3 forward is you'll still get juggled. You're still kind of screwed.
Gotcha. Okay. Cool.
And that's it for Tiger.
Okay. One quick question I had. Just I was thinking about it a while ago, but so you can cancel any stance with the down back by tapping down back. Let's just take Tiger for instance. If you want to block a low that's coming, can you press down back and hold it and block, or do you have to tap it, go back to neutral, and then do down back, or can you just hold
that's
down?
a great question. I believe if you just hold down back, if you just hold down back, you'll block it.
Okay.
Yeah, if you just hold down back.
Because I can't imagine that you're wasting too much time if you go back to neutral. It still shouldn't be too hard to because you're just tapping it. But
no, and once you tap down back or you hold down back, you'll see Lei go into the neutral first, and then he'll be like, oh my god, I gotta crouch, and he'll crouch.
Gotcha.
So, most lows that you would have to worry about, like heavy lows, generally speaking, you would have no problem either doing Tiger 3 to crush it or just canceling out of it to, block it.
Cool. All right, so that's it for Tiger. So which stance is next?
What stance is next? Oh, Dragon. Dragon is next. Dragon is a very great... It's an interesting stance, Dragon. And the reason being is because it's another one of those stances that if you know how to use it properly, it can make your life really easy. And if you do it wrong, it'll get you killed. I'll explain it. Dragon, you get into Dragon by a few ways. You can go in a snake and go left. Or you can go sidestep 1 down. Or how else do you snake 2 forward? Or how else can you get into Dragon? Tiger right will also get you a Dragon. But yeah, Dragon is another one of Lei's stances. From Dragon, he has a good amount of moves. He has Dragon 1, which is a throw. And it's a really good throw. So one break. Everyone generally knows this, but they beefed it up in this game, which I really love. In this game, you can do Dragon 1 and you can do Dragon 1 back. And Dragon 1 is a throw, and Dragon 1 back is a throw cancel that leaves Lei back in the Dragon. Now, what's great about that transition is that if you do Dragon 1, most people will know, I got to tap 1 to get out the throw, because that's the break for it. But if you do Dragon 1 back, most individuals are already kind of hardwired to tap 1. So they'll tap a jab, and that's what makes Dragon 2 so crucial, because Dragon 2 is a high crush that gives a juggle for pretty good damage. So if you do Dragon 1 back and someone taps 1, kind of just not thinking, and you do Dragon 2 instantly, 98% of the time you're going to crush that jab and launch them. So that's really, really good.
Yeah, I know it's an old school really cheesy tactic to intentionally whiff a grab and see if your opponent is hardwired to try to break it. Because if you know that character has a really shitty, 2 or 1+2 or whatever, to see if they'll just randomly hit it because they saw the animation, and then you can punish whatever the move is. But the Dragon 1 back sounds a little bit more legitimate. But
yeah. Well, that option is really good. That's actually been done to me. Someone's did a 1+2 throw, and Lei's, I'm holding back already, and I'll do Lei's back 1+2, which is a good mid, but it's a pretty slow mid, and they'll kill me for it, or whiff me for it. So I know, but this one is pretty good because even good players fall for this. Especially, when they, because it's annoying. Lei, again, he's very annoying. Even when I play him, I'm annoyed sometimes when I play a Lei play. Like, dude, really? It's a lot of dude really moments. So
The dude really match. Dude.
yeah, it's a dude really match. Yeah. So yeah, Lei has Dragon 2, which is a high crush, and it also gives +3 on block. So it's a great move. It's 17 frames, and it's yeah, I can't talk more highly about Dragon 2. Dragon 2 is really good. 17 frames, +3 on block, gives a juggle on counter hit. And if you don't like plus frames, you can go into Dragon from it. I mean Tiger from it, but I wouldn't. I don't know. I wouldn't. But you can do it. Um, so that's one of the options Lei has. He also has Dragon 3, which is another new addition. I don't use this a lot, but it is good. It's another one of those moves that is good, but I don't use. Tiger 3 is a new low, and it's launch punishable on block, so that's a problem. It gives plus frames on hit, and that's good. But the good thing about it is that most individuals know that when you see Lei and Dragon, you go left, which is Lei's weak side. You know, you just walk, and most of the time, most of Lei's attacks from that stance will whiff. Dragon 3 will hit. Dragon 3 tracks pretty well to Lei's weak side and Dragon. So yeah, you just do Dragon 3. Most people, another good thing about the move is that most people don't expect the low on Dragon because he's never had a low on Dragon. So yeah, most people don't expect it. It's definitely something that can be useful.
Is it his only move that tracks to his right?
Well, no. When Lei is in Dragon, as long as you're not pressing a command, and this goes for all stances, as long as you're not pressing, doing a command, Lei will always orientate himself towards the opponent. So you can't sidestep a stance. So, you know, you can't be like, oh man, I'm on a sidewalk snake and get away from it. No, he'll keep looking at you. So he also, like I said, he has other moves that propel him forward and back, which is a really cool way to constantly orientate yourself with your opponent. That is another crucial way to track. But in general, that's the most dependable move that will track you if they're stepping, in general.
All right.
Lei also has 4-1+2. It's a wall splatting move, but it's nothing that Dragon 2 doesn't do, that Dragon forward 1+2 won't do. So I mean that does. So I would prefer Dragon 2. Dragon 1+2, forward 1+2. I gotta say forward because 1+2 is another move. But Dragon forward 1+2 is good because it looks cool. Another good because it looks cool move. He basically hits you with both his palms, and you kind of like fly away, like he just hit you with like God's sandal or something. I don't know, but you fly away. It looks really cool. He also has he can also go into Tiger from that stance, from Dragon 4 1+2 as well by doing Dragon 4 1+2 forward. We'll send him into Tiger. He also has a new move that's also really good. That it's Dragon 1+2. Dragon 1+2 is I call it win my money because he just slaps you twice in the face. It's a high move, but it's safe. Lei slaps you twice in the face, and it leads to a crumple stun juggle. It's it's a great move. Yeah, I laugh every time I hit somebody because it's yeah. Definitely, if you don't play Lei, go in and do that move on a computer 4 times, and it'll definitely make you smile. You're having a bad day, just do that move.
So just slap it.
It's yeah, it's like, you know, Lei just wants his money and you don't have it. But yeah, he slaps you twice. It leads to a juggle. It's a great move. Safe on block. Not even last. I'm saving the best for last.
Okay.
The 2 best. Also from Dragon, Lei can go down on the floor. So this is really, really good. A very important tool to use in Dragon. This is why I can't, you know, sleep on Dragon. I said that the crucial stances were Tiger, Snake, and Panther. but Dragon is really a really good facilitating stance because of this. Lei can go down into his play dance, his play dead rather stance, grounded stance from Dragon as well, which is really good by pressing down 3+4. So at any time, Lei can fall on the ground and put your opponent in a mix-up.
Yeah, because his wall is grounded. Was it grounded 4? Is that?
Yes, his grounded 4 is a launcher, but his grounded 3, his play dead 3 is also a launcher. So and his play dead 3+4 is also a launcher. So he has 3 launchers that he can do as soon as he hits the ground. So if you're in Dragon, and I didn't add this, Dragon has one of the best mobility options of the stance. He kind of crouch dashes when he goes forward, and he goes backwards pretty fast with a sway. The crouch dash going forward, if you time it properly, will crush highs. He'll go right under most high moves if you time it properly. So Dragon down 3+4 is really, really a good move for someone that knows Lei. So if you see someone stepping, if you see someone, doing moves, it's a great thing to say, wait a minute, calm down. So yeah, that's a great thing with Dragon. And now I can say last but not least, he has Dragon 4, which is it's kind of a bread and butter for beating intermediate to low level to low mid. Dragon 4 is a 10 frame high from Dragon. What's good? I'm not going to say what's great. I'm going to say what's good about it is it's a 10 frame mid, and on counter hit it guarantees Lei a string, which is 4-1-2-3. 4-1-2-3 does about 64 damage on counter hit. So you have a 10 frame move does 64 damage on counter hit. He can also, and this is covering Lei's just plain grounded options, not very much stand space. He can also go into Tiger by doing just Dragon 4-1 forward. So Dragon 4-1 forward will send him into Tiger, which is another good thing. It's so you have Tiger mix-ups. So you have a 10 frame high that does really good damage. That's safe. Can't really block it if you do the string and damage Lei if you go into the stand. So yeah, that's more good stuff for Lei.
Yeah, the 4-1-2-3. I mean, that's really beefy damage. 60.
Yeah, especially for individuals who say, they see the Dragon transition and their immediate thought is, let me attack with any move that's not a jab. And the reason why it's good for them to think that is because if they do a jab and you do Dragon 2, they'll be crushed. And you'll launch them for that. And if they do a mid, like, let me do the fastest mid I have, and you do Dragon 4, the 4 series, they'll be counter hit.
And then the Dragon 4, that's a high, or is that a mid?
It's a high. Yes. Okay. Yeah, it's a high. So it's a really good kind of metagame kind of, can't win kind of situation. I've been in that situation playing Lei players and gone, okay, this is ridiculous. I'm in trouble here. So it's really good. It's like I said, Lei doesn't have a lot of bad stances. He has players who can't use the stance properly, and that's basically what gets them killed.
Okay, so you mentioned the play dead stance a little bit, because you kind of said that Dragon is really good because it can be a transitional stance into play dead. So aside from the, is it just 4, 3, and 3+4, or do you just stick with those 3 options, deciding between those 2, or is there some other trickery that you use when you're in play dead?
Well, okay. When Lei is, and this kind of goes away. I have one more animal stance, but let me just say this: when Lei is in all stances, he can get off the ground and drunken. Oh, see, so again, this is it's more. There's always more. So I'll say that before I go deeper in that.
Okay.
I think the ground stances, he has 4 of those, and that takes kind of covering in itself.
Gotcha.
Let me just go into the last but not least, the crane stance.
Okay.
It's the probably the least used stance that Lei has is his crane stance. But again, it's not a bad stance. It's kind of like those moves I always talk about. That's cool, but I don't use it. So crane is cool, but I don't generally use it. If I use crane, it's just because okay, I just want to use crane. But yeah, it's not really a necessity to use crane. Crane is one of the easiest transition stances. Like Tiger is basically, you can just do with Lei up forward 3 gets him into crane. Forward 1+2 forward gets him into crane. Up back 4 forward gets him into crane. So it's a few ways to get into crane. You can also do Panther transition and yeah, just Panther transition will get him into crane. So the great thing about crane, I just have to say great thing because it's a lot of great things. I can't stop saying that.
That's okay. Everyone has their thing, and your thing is
well, that's not even my thing. That's only my thing when I'm talking about Lei. Everything else, I don't usually use that terminology. But okay, when Lei is in crane, he can't really be hit with lows. He'll hop over them automatically. So whether you're holding back, whether you're holding forward, he'll hop over all lows. And he'll also hop over and kick you in the face. So if someone does a low on Lei and he hops over, he's going to launch them for it. So that's just auto. He'll automatically do that in crane. It's kind of like Anna's cat stance. She does the same thing. Now, of course, you can be Tekkened. So meaning that certain lows he'll do it in the mid launcher. It's a mid launcher. Will totally whiff. And I curse the Tekken gods for doing that and keep going about my business. But it happens. So yeah, Lei will automatically launch all lows. He also has Crane 1, which is it's a punch. It's a mid punch that wall splats and that gives him +5 on block, which is really good. So if you block it, it gives Lei +5, plus Lei is in back turned. So that is a good thing about Lei with that stance. So he's back turned, it can wall splat, and he's at +5 on block. So it's an abusable move. It's not like I don't use it a lot, but it is one of those abusable moves that could be used a lot. He also has Crane 2, which Crane 2. I can't remember the last time I actually used Crane 2. Not a very useful move. It's it's not a useful move. But it's a high move. He smacks you in the face and makes you go back turn. And it makes you go back turn. It's cool looking, but not cool looking enough to risk doing it. Because if you're blocked, you're kind of in trouble. Because it's like -12 on block. -11, I forget. He also has Crane 3, which is a really great move. It's cool. Crane 3 is a 14 frame mid that on hit guarantees 3 other moves. So it guarantees the string. Crane 3 is the beginning of Crane Dance. So if you hit somebody with Crane 3, 3, 4, 2 is guaranteed for 49 damage. For about 49, 48. I could be off. But I know it's lower than 50. Generally speaking, when Lei hits you with a string, it's lower than 50.
Just barely.
So yeah. Yeah, and I'm saying that like it's a bad thing. Oh, a 14 frame mid that's lower than 50. Yeah, so it's like 48, 49 damage. Crane 3. He also has Crane 1+2, which is a new move. It's a decent move. It's really fast. It's 16 frames. It's fast and it like propels him forward. So Lei can be at range almost 2. And you'll say, okay, he can't hit me. And Crane 1+2, it's a high move. It's another move that'll make you giggle. He basically takes his hands, he's doing a Karate Kid stance. And he takes his hands that's up and just mashes it on the person's face. Like he just claps their face with his fist. It's funny looking. And it'll give instant juggle started and make you laugh. But yeah, it's a good move. It's a decent move. And it's relatively fast. And it's safe on block. Again, Crane 1+2 is safe on block. So it's a useful move. He also has Crane up forward 4, which is from crane, is a hop kick. Now, generally speaking, it's not very advisable to do that move unless you've trained your opponent to be aware of the last move that I'm going to talk about. What was the last move in his stance? Which is crane 4. Crane 4 is a low. So most individuals, I think, would know about crane 4 more than anything. Would you agree?
I know I do.
Yeah.
That's the one I'm always looking for.
Yeah, so that's what's useful about crane up 4-3. So most individuals, they see crane and they go, oh my god, that low that hits grounded. And that makes me knock down on the floor and stuff. And they'll duck. But if you do crane up 4-4, you juggle them. So that's what, I guess, one move facilitates the other.
Gotcha.
So that covers it for crane.
Okay, so now we can go back to play dead.
Now, okay, we can go back to play dead. Play dead is in all other Tekkens besides this one. Play dead was that scrub sense, I called it, because all scrubs knew how to do it. It was basically just down 3+4. They changed the notation in this game so that I guess scrubs can't go to it immediately. I don't know why they did it, but it's not down 3+4 in this game. In this game, it's down 2 and 3, 2+3. So from play dead, first of all, let me just cover the whole grounded stance thing. When Lei is on the ground, Lei is in kind of a stance now. He's not just flat on the ground. He can be hit by low hitting mids and by lows. You can knock him at lows naturally. That's on any low that hits grounded naturally. And some lows that don't hit grounded will hit Lei even when he's in his stance. So that's something to be mindful of. He can end it low hitting mids. He can also be floated by certain characters. I know if you're moving the wrong way, Jin back 2-1 can kind of float you. A few other characters, Lei can float you from certain options he has. But in order to get out of this stance, it's called I call it sleeping stance. I think generally that's what it's called. It's sleeping stance. You just press 2 while Lei is on the floor. So if you do down 2+3, like I said, to go into play dead, and you press 2, Lei will just be in regular PLD, regular play dead.
Okay.
That's something to keep in mind. Another thing to keep in mind is that from all grounded stances, Lei can get up and drunken. So if he's in play dead and you press 1+2, Lei will get up into drunken and he'll be back turned. Now, that's not very useful because, he's in drunken, he's back turned. And this is where it gets really cool. When Lei is in drunken, if you tap down, Lei instantly gets out of drunken. So you have Lei back turned, instantly out of drunken, which gives him all of his back turn mix-ups right from the ground.
Which is really odd that they would give you something that's useless that can then be canceled into something that's good. That just sounds weird.
I think I always say, after playing Tekken 4, which Lei was horrible. I'm not going to get into Tekken 4 Lei, but he was horrible. They hired some guy, some beautiful Japanese guy, thank you, I don't know who you are, who actually liked Lei. And, I think they hired him during the season of DR. And he programmed Lei. But, yeah, he put a lot of cool things in here that I think helped Lei. And I think that nameless, unsung hero for giving Lei a lot of the, techniques he has. But, yeah, you get up and drunken, and you can instantly cancel for all of Lei's back turn mix-ups. So his back turn throw, back turn down 1. Everything good I said about back turn at the onset, he can do right from the ground. So that's something else to keep in mind. Now, since I covered that, Lei can also transition to each of the corresponding stances by tapping 1. So for PLD, for play dead, the corresponding stance is slide, SLD. Play dead is head up, feet away, and slide is head down and toward, feet away. So tapping 1, you will transition into those stances. So that's another thing that late players have to keep in mind. If they tap 1, they have other options, and blah blah blah. But yeah, I'm getting winded just talking about this guy.
No, well, yeah, no, I mean it's completely understandable. I mean, I think he as far as I know, by far has the biggest move list, and
Yeah, and
even if you
he
don't
has
want to go over a move by move, breakdown, like you're still forced to talk about so much stuff. So,
yes, because other things lead to other things.
yeah.
Lei is a giant skill tree. But yeah. So let's just go straight into the moves. From Play Dead, he has three options. Three? Am I right?
I
Yes,
know
he
you mentioned the
has.
4-3-3+4.
Okay, he has the 4, which is a mid kick. It's negative 12 on block. It juggles, a juggle starter. That's his old 3+4 back in old games. He has 3, which is the rave sweep. That's also a juggle starter, and that's just by doing play dead 3. He also has 3+4. That's a weird twirly kick. I think I have to get into this weird twirly kick because I just figured it out like a few months ago.
Okay.
The weird twirly kick is a juggle starter. It works this way. It's generally a 2-hit move. So you play dead 3+4. It's 2 hits. Now, if he hits you with the 2 hits, you don't get a juggle. If both hits connect, you won't get a juggle. The most you can get is probably down 4-4 or instant while standing 3. However, if he hits you with one of the kicks, so if one whiffs and the other connects, you'll get a juggle. So it's kind of a weird angle it has to happen on that only one of the kicks hits, and then you'll get a juggle from it. That's how it works.
Is it a launch juggle? Or is it like a stun juggle?
It's a launch. You have to instant bound into a juggle. It's a little juggle. It's not worth the risk. I don't believe it's worth the risk that you take. But yeah, it's a juggle starter.
All right, and he just has those 3 from Playdead.
Yeah, but as per Lei, his 3 goes. The Pleo do 3 goes in the drunken. If you tap forward, you hold forward. It goes in a snake if you tap down. That's just Lei. That's how he rolls. So
Transition into something else.
yeah, Lei doesn't do anything without being able to do like 3 other things with it. I think if he drinks water in the morning, he can also, start his car and do a million other things too. It's just the way he is. But yeah, that's from POD. That's the options that he has from Playdead.
Okay, so I kind of want to go back to what we were talking about when we first started discussing the stances and stuff. So stances are, obviously they're crucial to the character of Lei. But is most of your game surrounded by doing, the sidestep 1s or the up forward 3s or, whatever moves transition into stances? Or are you trying to do, I don't want to say like generic, but kind of a generic kind of game plan where you're kind of poking and then
I totally understand. It's kind of one of the, it's a beautiful thing about the character itself, in my opinion. I've always enjoyed it, is that Lei can be played in so many kinds of ways. He's very versatile when it comes to playstyle. So if you want, you can totally be, whole Snake and Eagle Shadow, Jackie Chan, doing a lot of stances, jumping around, doing cool stuff that'll make individuals say, ooh, ah. You can also just be down forward 1, low poke. I haven't went into his just standing game yet, but his standing game is really good. It's decently good. So you don't have to do it. The stances, I believe, depending on the level of player and the level of knowledge that your opponent has, will make your life easier. That's the only thing stances do. However, it can also make your life pretty terrible if someone knows the stances. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, absolutely.
So it's kind of, I always tell, starting lay players that I teach, that one of the initial things that you do with Lei is you prey on ignorance. So if someone doesn't know something, it's the best move on earth, even if it's the worst move on earth. So if I do a move that's going to get me killed, and the individual doesn't know that it should get me killed, and they do something like a wild standing 4 or something. Oh, a very good, and I'll go into this later. Lei has Razor Rush. You know about Razor Rush. Everyone knows about Razor Rush. Now, the low in Razor Rush, everyone, they know a low is an option. Now, you have certain individuals that, you know Razor Rush. So if I do the low, what would you do?
If I block it,
yeah.
or
you block it, or you know it's coming, what would you do? You know I'm going to do the low. What would you do?
oh well, I mean, I suppose I don't know. I don't have enough. I don't know what the maximum
But
thing is. I would just probably block it and punish. But
what punish would you use? For that?
depends on my character. If I have a strong 13, I'm going to do that. But I'm not 100% sure if it's launch punishable. But
And that's the key. No, that I wanted you to say that. That's kind of one of the keys to Lei. That is negative 17. So 99% of the cast can launch me if I do Razor Rush low. But a lot of individuals don't know that. So that instantly becomes a really good move if they don't know that. So I'll have people parry me for it. I'll have people block it and do, while standing 4-4 with a Kazuya and go look at me and go, yeah, I got you. And I'm laughing at it because I'm like, dude, you could have got like while standing 2 and killed me for that.
Yeah.
So that's what I mean by preying on ignorance. And a lot of Lei's, stances work on that same engine. That if they don't know the move, if they don't know the proper way to step it, it's really good. If they do know the move, they're going to kill you. So that also has a lot to do with how you want to play Lei.
That makes a lot of sense. Because now that after asking that question, that does make a lot of sense. Because I normally just in T6 I don't normally low parry, but I didn't know that it was negative 16 or 17, so I would have been getting a lot less damage.
I've just killed a lot of Lei players. Around the world, Lei players are dying now because of what I just said. People are just going to block and hop kick them and laugh. But yeah, that's launch punishable at all times. And yeah, it's one of those things. So yeah, Lei can be played in a lot of ways, and it's up to the player. He's very versatile. The one thing I will say as far as that is concerned is that it's very fun, especially for me. Like, I'm in New York City. Everyone knows Lei here. It's no ignorance really when it comes to Lei. So it's fun to play a stands game knowing that everyone knows how to stop me, because it encourages me to come up with more options, to come up with more things, to be a better Lei player.
Absolutely. All right. Well, you mentioned before that we hadn't gotten into the standing game. So let's talk about that. So
okay.
His standing game is pretty good.
His standing game is pretty good, yeah.
I agree.
I just go down his punishment list. Lei has a grade 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 punish. For 10 frames, he has 2-1, which is 27 damage, and it gives him +3. Which is really good. He also has 1-2, which is 22 damage, and give him +6. For 11 frames, he has, I guess it's the same, just 2-1 and forward 1-2 and stuff like that, or just standing 4, which does less damage. So you probably wouldn't do that. I'm at 12. At 12, he gets forward 2-1. Which is 28 damage. 1 more point damage more. But he can also get 4 neutral 4-1-2. It's extremely difficult to do. It's something that you would have to practice, but it can be done in 12 frames.
So you'll have to refresh me. What is forward neutral 4?
It's the same move that I talked about in Dragon. In Dragon, it's 4-1-2-3.
Oh, okay.
And in this, you have to do forward neutral first. It's basically a high kick, 2 punches, and a roundhouse kick. Very old school Lei. It's a really cool move. It does 64 damage on counter hit. On regular hit, the first 3 hits are guaranteed, and it does about 44 damage. So you're talking about a 12 frame punish that does 44 damage, which is
it's pretty beefy.
Kind of stupid. Yeah, that's beefy. That can also be used as his 12 and 13 frame punish. So if you can do it in 12 frames, which, like I said, it takes work. It takes hard work, but it can be done. You can do it for 13 frames, and that doesn't take it as much work. It still takes a little bit of work, but not as much. So that's his 12 and 13 frame punish. At 14, he has 1 plus 2 1, and it's basically a slap into a backhand. 1 plus 2 1, it does 42 damage. It gives him plus 6, I believe. Yeah, and leaves him in back turn. So plus 6 in back turn after 42 damage it's a holiday.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah,
pretty good.
so yeah, that's incredible. He also has standing 3, which does about 36 damage for a 14 frame punish, and you can do standing 3 back, which puts him into Phoenix. I didn't cover Phoenix stance. Oh, I didn't cover Phoenix or Drunken. I'll get to those later. Just realized that. Lei. Which leads to Phoenix stance and gives him a Phoenix mix-up. And Phoenix stance, he has moves and options that you can do. So it's 36 damage and a mix-up for 14 frames. So that's his 14 frame punish. And again, if you want 44 damage, you can also do the 12, 13, 14 frame. And again, that's always 44 damage, and that's still good, even then. And at 15, he can launch. So, he has down forward too. He has hop kick. So that's really good. His punishment is not, below par by any means. He also has, which is good, down 4. Down 4 is his low poke.
Is that the one that can go into the snake, right?
That is the one that can go into snake. You will see this a lot. Everyone does it.
I know that move.
Yeah, everyone does this move. It's good. Good range. It's 0 on hit, which is another, prey on ignorance thing. A lot of individuals don't realize that the move is 0 on hit. So when Lei is on hit, when he hits you, he can do whatever he wants again. I like just keep doing the move. I'm pretty sure people can look at a match of me, and I'll do the move like 4 times in a row, just for the fun of it. It's no other reason. He also has an extension from down 4, which is down 4-4. So you do down 4-4, and it's low mid. That's good because if someone blocks down 4, it's punishable. It's negative 11. But if you do down 4-4, they can't punish it. So if they even go for the punish, they're going to get caught with a counter hit 4. Because you can't interrupt that string.
All right.
So down 4-4 is pretty abusable, and I think I should have a footnote on everything. But it's also another kind of prey on ignorance move, because down 4-4 is negative 15. So if you do down 4-4, it has a pushback that most characters can't launch. To my knowledge, only Jack, Leo, Mishima's. I believe that's it. And maybe Kuma. And Kuma, those are the only characters that can launch it consistently. No other character really can do it. But all characters have like generally a 14 frame move or 13 frame move that'll catch up to Lei when he does down 4-4. So it's not safe by any means. It can get you killed. So don't do it willy-nilly.
Okay.
He also has, did I cover everything standing? He has Razor Rush. Everyone knows Razor Rush. Everyone loves Razor Rush. Razor Rush is great. Razor Rush 1, sidestep, up, down, left, right. We'll go into Snake. Razor Rush 1, 2, up, down, left, right. We'll go into Dragon. Razor Rush 3, when I say 1, 2, and 3, I mean punches. So 3 punches, up, down, left, right. We're going to Panther. Razor Rush 4 punches, up, down, left, right. We're going Tiger. And if you finish it off with the mid kick, you go up, down, left, right. You go into Crane. So another time, it facilitates the stances. Cool thing about Razor Rush is that on block, you don't have any. You can't use any of the stances on block. It's bad teching. You'll get killed for it by anybody that knows how to play. But on hit, he gets a mix up. So if I hit you with Razor Rush 1, go into Snake, I have a mix up. If I hit you with, 2 punches and go into Dragon, I have a mix up. You can't beat me out to an option because I'm at plus frames. That's generally how Razor Rush works.
Gotcha. And you can delay each punch.
Yeah, yeah, which is also good because say you block the first one and I delay it, and you're like, he's going to stop and go on a snake and do something stupid. Let me kill him for it, and I keep going. I hit you with the dragon. Haha, you're in mix-up land. Or as I call it, mix-up city. You're in mix-up city and population is you. So, yeah, that's great about Razor Rush. What else? He has down back 4, which is an instant high crush. Everyone knows down back 4. It gives a juggle on clean hit. It's really good. Its launch punish move naturally is a heavy low. But of all the heavy lows in his game, I think it's one of the best because 1 is 20 frames really fast, and 2 is an instant high crush, and 3, it's very easy to get clean hit. And with Lei, a lot of characters have problems getting clean hits. Lei can get clean hit pretty easy with down back 4, which is good. Another thing I have to cover is that Lei is one of the only characters that has 3 wall splatting mids, just from regular standing. Just regular wall splatting mids. He also has counter hit wall splatting mids, but I'm not going to go on lows rather. He has 3 wall splatting lows that can wall splat. Down back 4/4 can wall splat from a certain range, certain angle. Panther 1/2, I mentioned that earlier, and he also has. I didn't go into all of his lay down stances, but he also has face down 3, which if a wall is behind you, you can follow up with an attack that's guaranteed the wall splat. So that's really good about Lei. What else?
Well, I don't know if you wanted to keep going on the standing moves, but you did. I know that you did want to talk about Phoenix and Drunken Stance. I don't know how much there is to cover for those 2 stances, but
this is. You know what? I should have gotten help with this. I should have gotten Sweekin or somebody just to help me with this. This is really long. Let me just go into my favorite move, and then I'll go. Lei has other moves from standing. Down forward 1+2, great move. Down forward 4, 12 frame mid, great move, plus frames. Forward 1+2, which is a really good move. Forward 1+2 gives +5 on block. It's a really great move. What else he has? He has sidestep 2, which you can do sidestep 2 back. It'll go in a back turn, gives him a back turn mix-up. He has up back 4, which is an evasive move. He jumps backwards, and it wall splats 1. It's -18, but you would have to be the greatest player ever to punish it. Like literally, if someone punishes it from like just open ground, I will probably unplug my controller, shake their hand, and walk out the venue that I'm at. It's really hard to punish, but it's up back 4. He also has up forward 3, which is a save mid low crush that gives a juggle and counter hit. So that's like gold standard. And lastly, I think this is the last move. He has beating rush. A lot of attention gets played to Razor Rush because everyone knows Razor Rush. But Lei also has beating rush. Beating rush is done by doing forward neutral 2-1-2. You have to whiff or hit the first punch to get beating rush. If you block it, it becomes those guard mount punches. I think everyone has probably seen it. Masher has probably tried to mash and Razor Rush and did guard mountain by mistake, and it's like Lei just kind of like hitting you and deflecting off of you. It looks weird, cool at the same time. Well, anyway, beating rush is really good because individuals know what Lei's weak side is. You step him left and to his right, and you basically beat up on Lei. Beating rush tracks really well. So if anyone is stepping you, they'll get caught in the beating rush, and it doesn't look like it, but if you get caught with like beating rush on hit or counter hit, it does like 28, 26 damage. So I'm poking you, getting in your face. It's a good way to close in, and if you're trying to step me, it's really hard. Plus, beating rush, because you need to whiff it in order to get beating rush, it's really hard to interrupt. So a lot of individuals will see you whiffing and say, okay, this guy's an idiot, let me whiff punish him, and they won't be able to because just the mechanics of beating rush. You have to whiff it to get the move. So that's a great move. And he has other moves from standing that's good if I remember it, or if something... Oh, sidestep 4. It's a mid-safe launcher. I got to mention sidestep 4.
Okay.
Yeah. like I said, when you have a character with this many moves, covering them all is difficult.
Yeah.
Okay, I can go into Phoenix now. Phoenix is done by either there's transitions to go into Phoenix, but the easiest way to go into Phoenix is just back 1-4 at the same time. When you do Phoenix, Lei will automatically step to his right, which is something that everyone should note. From Phoenix, he has his unblockable, and that's by doing Phoenix forward 4. Lei's unblockable is unique in that I think Eddie has the same thing, and I believe only Eddie. Yeah, only Eddie. Maybe someone else has it too. Maybe Garyu? I'm not even sure. But Lei's unblockable hits grounded. So it also does the damage of getting hit in the face by a steel beam. Does a lot of damage. So it hits grounded, does a lot of damage, and that's really good. He also has Phoenix 2, which is a launcher on regular hit. It's negative 10, but it's basically Lei's forward 4-2. From DR, it always launched on regular hit. His Phoenix 2 is negative 10. It launches on regular hit, and it's really good. He has Phoenix 1, which is a useless move. Again, useless move looks cool. Don't do it. If you do it, and don't get killed. It's a high move, but it looks cool. But it's a high move. It is high crush is kinda, but who's gonna really jab you when you're Phoenix? I don't know. But yeah, he has Phoenix 1. He has Phoenix Phoenix back 4. Phoenix back 4 is basically his tornado kicks from regular standing, but he does it out of Phoenix, and it does more damage. From regular, it does about 30 damage or 28, but from Phoenix, it does 36 damage. So it does more damage when you do it from Phoenix. And again, it hits ground. It gives Lei all these mix-ups, back turn, play dead, transitions, blah, blah. He also has from Phoenix, Phoenix 4, just regular 4, not forward 4, not back 4. Phoenix 4 is a great move because it's a low that hits grounded and gives plus frames and leaves Lei in snake. So if you hit and someone tries to attack you, they're not going to be able to beat you out to, naturally snake 1-1-1. And if they do a slow move, snake 2 will hit counter hit. So that's also good. And that covers it. I forgot. And Phoenix also, if you tap forward, Lei goes into drunken.
Well, hey,
and
that's a good segue into...
That is a good segue. And also another way you can transition is that if you're in Phoenix and you press 1+2, Lei will drink. He will get about 5 points of health back, and he will also be in a drunken. All right, now I'm in drunken. So I covered Phoenix.
Yep.
Covered drunken. This character is so... Okay. I'm going to change my character just so I won't have to explain this again. In drunken, Lei has drunken 1+1, 3, 2, 4. That's Lei's drunken throw. Lei's drunken throw is unique in that it's 2 opportunities to throw. So if you're in drunken and you press the throw, which is the drunken throw, Lei will make 2 attempts to throw the opponent automatically. Sadly, you can't cancel that, so once someone wises up, they'll just keep ducking. But for like the first month of playing this game, everyone ducked the throw and stood back up and got thrown anyway. So yay for me. Another thing about the drunken throw is that on a wall it guarantees an instant while standing 3. So the drunken throw in itself does about, I guess, 36 damage or something. Not too much for a special throw, and the while standing 3 does 30 damage. So that's about a 60 damage throw, a little under 60, which is really good. From drunken, he also has drunken 1, which is a mid punch, about 18 frames. It's relatively fast, and it wall splats, and it's safe, and you can go forward and go back into drunken, which is generally speaking all of his moves in drunken. You hold forward and you'll go back into drunken. Even his throw, I believe. Am I right about that? I could be wrong about the throw. I've never. I don't know why anyone would say, "Oh, I whiffed the throw. Let me go back into drunken." But maybe it has a use, and some lay player's gonna PM me and school me on it.
Well,
But
I mean, it's according to the move list, it says it calls it random walk, but in drunken, 1+3 or 2+4 forward. When,
you go back into random walk.
I don't know. I mean, it says when swinging. I don't know what that means.
Okay, then yeah, it's random walk is how I guess the Japanese refer to.
Yeah, I don't know why they would call it random walk, but
I love that. Okay, so when you're doing random walk two, that's really great. Random walk. I'm sorry. I'm actually gonna stop calling that. Drunken 2 is a sidestep 2 from standing. And again, sidestep 2 is mid-high. You can duck the high, but if you don't, the high is +5. So if you block the second hit, you're plus frames. You get all the good things that plus frame gives. And if they duck it and you do sidestep 2, or drunken 2 rather, back, you're in back turn. You get back turn mix-ups. So you can get back turn mix-ups either way, but that kind of encourages them not to duck, basically. From drunken, he also has drunken up forward 1+2. Now, drunken up forward 1+2 is a silly move. It looks cool. I don't use it. If I use it, I definitely think I'm going to win a match. So if you ever see me do it, and I lose, then you should make fun of me. But it's kind of, he lunges forward. It has low crush properties, but it's just him lunging forward at the opponent. And it's also a bound move. I've seen a cool combo video that someone used it as a bound move, but it's relatively useless as a bound move. But it is a bound move. Drunken up forward 1+2.
Random moves for random walk.
Yeah, random move, random walk. It's really cool though. I mean, it adds to the character, and it's. When he does it, he also goes into what stance is that? Slide. He goes into slide when after the move is done. He'll go into the grounded slide stance, which I didn't cover, but it's, Lei does that. Also from drunken, he has drunken 4, which is a launcher. It's not safe. It can be jab punished. I think it's negative 11 or 12, but it's unique in that it can't be parried or reversed. It's one of the few moves that Lei has that has those properties. So Asuka can't reverse it. Jin and Wang probably can parry it, but that's because their parries are stupid. But generally, no other character can parry or reverse it. And it's a launcher. It gives a decent juggle, not too much of a juggle, but he has that. He also has, which is one of my favorite new additions to this move, drunken back 1+2. It's Lei's spinning headbutt. He basically spins towards you, jumping, and this gives a juggle on regular hit, counter hit, and it's the easiest juggle known to man. And it does like in the 70s damage. And it's one of those moves that you'll catch someone with occasionally if you go for it. And it looks really cool. It's cool looking and useful, which is rare for characters. And drunken. Oh, he also has drunken 3+4. Drunken 3+4 is a low that also guarantees a follow-up. It does good damage when you consider that the follow-up is guaranteed, and it crushes highs. So as soon as Lei does it, you're doing a high, he'll crush it. So he has drunken 3+4. Am I missing something? I'm missing something very important. Blah, 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 blah. Oh, yes. Lei has a safe low from drunken. Drunken 3-2. It's a low kick into a mid. Now, the low by itself is launch punishable, so the low isn't safe. But when you do the low with the mid, it's completely safe. So the only way they can punish it is by parrying it, and it's another really good thing to finish rounds with, especially on tech, because on certain techs you can't really parry instantly. So it's a good move, just to do as a safe low poke. And it's safe. It's relatively fast, and it's a good move. So I believe that covers everything for Drunken. I'm not sure because my character has a billion moves,
Yeah,
but
we've been talking about stances and stuff for a while. So,
yeah,
but the nice thing though about going over these moves and these stances, even though with most characters when we talk about them, we kind of break them down into areas. Juggle damage, launchers, punishers, pokes, Oki, that sort of thing. But as you go through the move list, you kind of get an understanding of how Lei works as we're talking, because you mentioned the one drunken juggle with the headbutt that does a decent chunk of damage. But outside of that, it sounds like he does get juggles and he gets okay damage, but it's not great. But that's as we're going through the move list, that's not where his strength lies. It's all about keeping the momentum going with plus frames, keeping those
right,
mix-ups going, transitioning in and out of stances. So even though he's going to get juggles, it's obviously not a strength, just from the way that we've been talking.
right.
So yeah, I don't, even though we haven't directly discuss certain things, I still think that we've covered them in a way, if that makes sense.
I truly believe the key to the whole. I'm sorry. I Drunken up back 1+2. That's the other move. It's just he drinks. And you can cancel it with a punch. Thank you. That was bugging me. I'm like, I know I'm missing something. But yeah, generally speaking, anyone who's trying to pick up Lei or anyone that knows Lei knows his relatively basic ground game. Razor Rush, down back 4. I've been made fun of that. All Lei needs is Razor Rush and down back 4. The key to, becoming more, intermediate, to mid-level to high-level with Lei is basically looking down his move list and seeing what you can use to facilitate more damage. So Lei doesn't have a lot of damage if you just go, I'm going to down forward to you. I'm just going to hop kick you, which a lot of characters have it. Lee has it. A lot of characters can really punish you or really make you pay from just a down forward 2. With Lei, you need to go into a move that gives him a counter hit for another move, and that's what does damage. So I mentioned Dragon 2, for instance. Dragon 2 does a significant amount of damage. Tiger 1 does, but these are all counter hit launchers. But, his move list puts him into the, gives him the opportunity to lead to that, and that's where Lei's strength lies.
And then I did have a couple follow-up questions just for some stuff that maybe we didn't flesh out as much. But one thing I wanted to ask is about his Oki game in general, because I know that he has some floating options, and he has a lot of stuff that hits grounded as well.
Right.
And if I remember correctly, his basic grabs give him really good positioning, except for the one that his 12 that just tosses you away. But I guess it still gives you running.
Even that's really good. You get the running mix up. His 2 throw, if you do it properly, you get a instant while standing 3, or if they roll away, which most people will, you can follow up with a 4+4 So his 1+4 1+2 throw 4 1+2 throw gives him if they roll away a 4-3-4, if they stay there, you can just do a ground hitting mid option, which is good because Lei has 3-4. He has tornado kicks, which in previous Tekkens did hit grounded, but in this game it hits grounded. And as with all Lei moves, once it hits you, you're in a mix-up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So that's basically how Lei works. He hits you, you're in trouble, and it's no difference from Oki. So you want to use a lot of attacks like that, like tornado kicks, like while standing 3, to get the opponent to tech fast, and that propels Lei again into more mix-up opportunities. So I think his Oki is maybe not the best. I know like Brian can lift you off the ground and laugh at you and kill you. Lei doesn't have any real, option for just, you're staying on the ground too long, I'm going to lift you back up. But he does have options that you're staying on the ground too long, I'm going to kill you while you're on the ground.
Gotcha.
That's Lei's kind of Oki.
And then another question, because we kind of touched on it, but not too much. I want to talk about walls just for a moment, because walls are obviously pretty important in Tekken, at least right now. so he has the wall splats and he has some wall juice. Just generally speaking, is his wall juice like is it good damage or is it just average?
I think it's slightly above average depending on your level of play.
Okay.
Okay. I say this I mentioned that for a neutral 412 can be done in 12 frames or to 13 frames. If you can do it at 12 to 13 frames, that can hit on the wall. And in that case, Lei has one of the best wall. He does a lot of wall damage if you can hit that on the wall. If you can hit that on the wall, if you can't do it in 12 to 13 frames, then Lei gets like just forward 3-1 up back 4, which while it does decent damage, is I would say high mid, is not really upper echelon. But yeah, Lei's wall game is pretty good. What Lei kind of lacks in that department is that a lot of characters have standing mids, that calls wall splat. Bob has sidestep 1+2. Lee has 4-2-1. Julia has, elbow, whatever, like stupid character has. But Lei doesn't have a lot or any. Well, yeah, he has one. He has very few, I should say, just regular from standing stance moves that just will generally wall splat. Up back 4 does it. Regular up hop kick does it. But he doesn't have a lot of moves that just wall splat from just regular standing.
Gotcha.
And that's kind of, I guess, a negative.
Okay, and then as kind of a follow-up question, I know that in past Tekkens, like Razor Rush was a good, I'm not going to say wall carry because not all Tekkens have walls, but it was a good tool to use as a wall carry. Is that still the same case, or does he have something that's maybe better than a Razor Rush?
Yes, in this game he has 4-3-1, which is another move. I'm sorry, 4-3-1, I forgot about you. But it's another great move, 16 frames. It's natural on hit, plus on hit as well. But he has 4-3-1. Razor Rush, it can be used for wall carrying. The problem with Razor Rush is that it's abusable. And so because it's abusable, Namco nerfed the damage pretty a long time ago, and they really never gave it back. So if you try to do, Razor Rush in a juggle, sure, you'll carry them, but no one really worries about, getting carried by Razor Rush.
Gotcha.
So you need something that does more damage for a filler.
Gotcha. So, and I take it that 4-3-1 does a pretty good job of wall carry?
Yes, 4-3-1 does a great job. It does really good damage. And, it's just generally it's really a great move.
Gotcha. All right. Well, I'm looking down my list of the stuff that we usually talk about. I mean, I think we covered most of it. Like I said, as we were going through the stances and stuff, a lot of things about the character get mentioned. So I guess just to kind of wrap up the character, because most of what we've been talking about, we've been doing it from the perspective as if you're the one playing Lei. So
okay.
If you're playing against Lei, it's not his weak side is his right, so you want to sidestep left.
Right.
So in addition to that, it just sounds like it's just. I'm trying to remember what the phrase you used for it, but it's just how much you know about Lei. If you know a lot about Lei, then you can deal with it, punish properly. And if you don't, you're going to get killed.
Yeah, if you don't know, it depends on the level of Lei player that you're playing. I would say it's kind of an inverse relation. If you're a good player and you're playing a good player, then you have to know as much as that good player knows. If you're a good player and you're playing like a mid-level player, you don't have to know that much, but it kind of helps to know something. But knowledge really comes in effect the higher level you go up.
Gotcha.
So at a certain level, if a Lei player really knows what he's doing, and you don't know what Lei, it's real low one said it's bad. He commented on people playing me and not knowing how to punish me. It's just bad. It's not fun at all. But yeah, it's one of those things that I always say. Another good thing when you're going against Lei is just special mids work particularly well versus Lei. Just crouch jabbing. A lot of his stances the minute that you go into them, lay players don't do it, but you can do it. You can go backward instantly. You can go back. But if you don't and you just stand there, a lot of the special mids will hit you right out of the stance. So that's something good to keep in mind when you're playing against lay. Another good thing to keep in mind when you're playing versus lay is lay players are stupid, myself included. 98% of the time we'll kill ourselves. You won't have to do it. We'll do something that'll kill ourselves, and I joke with that when I'm trying to teach someone lay or talking about lay. But yeah, it's very true. We'll kill ourselves, so that's something to keep in mind. Space properly. But yeah, that's my suggestion when you're fighting lay.
All right. So just because I always ask this question, and people love their tiers. Where would you put him? Is he sitting there in the mid, or?
I would say,
generally speaking, of course. I mean, there's always.
Generally speaking, lay is about. He's about low mid. And the only reason I say that is if you're good with him, you can bring him to upper mid, but you really have to be so good with him. It's like really, you have to ask a transcript of what your opponent is going to do and then, follow it. I don't know. But yeah, he's about low mid for, average to above average players.
All right. Excellent. Well, man, we have had a lot of information in this podcast.
Yes, I am sorry.
No,
this character,
no, don't.
I thought I would be easier than this, but this character is stupid. I miss so much. I still miss so much.
That's okay. We just try to, on this podcast, and I've, at least on my site, I have a little a disclaimer, so to speak, that, that we can't give you everything from a podcast. You're going to have to play, you're going to have to get experience, you're going to have to read a lot, you're going to have to study frame data. That's just the way Tekken is. But, I think that considering that this is arguably the most complex character in the game, I think we did a pretty good job. Or I should say you did a pretty good job, because I don't know shit about this character.
I so try.
But, so with that being said, the podcast has gone on for quite a long time, so I'll probably end up skipping the general discussion stuff that I usually do at the end. But I do want to give you a little bit of an open mic. We talked about Tekken Tag 2, so if there was any, I don't know, tidbits or secrets or anything that you wanted to rant or rave about or praise or whatever it may be about Tag 2, feel free to do that.
I'm winded. I need to drink water. I don't know. Lei is awesome in tag. Thank you, Namco. I hope to play it and talk about it later. But yeah, that's all I'm going to say.
Excellent.
Lei is awesome.
Okay, well, to round out the podcast, I always do this every episode. We have a little section that I like to call Sound Off. And you don't sound like a very angry person. I'm just going to put that out there. But we want to know what makes you mad. What makes the Exalted so mad that he could break something and curse. That's what we want to know. So I'm going to give you an open mic. It doesn't have to be Tekken related. It can be anything, but we want to know what makes you angry.
Well, you know what? I'm going to stick with Tekken. One of the things that irritates me as far as like players is concerned is one, blaming the character for your losses. I am so against this. I don't like when Zafina players say, oh man, Zafina is this, or Oscar players say Oscar is this, or Lei players say, oh my god, Lei is this, and that's why I'm losing. No, it's because you suck. When I lose, and New York will totally attest to this, I say I suck. There's no excuse for me to lose. Lei is great, I just suck. So I think in general more people need to embrace the fact that they're garbage at this game, and that they're bad. And that they need to get better, and that's what's great about it. You say you suck, I need to get better. I can get stronger, and you get better. Another thing that irritates me is individuals that don't like Tekken. I don't know. I don't like that. Tekken is great. It's fun.
Well, Tekken has that one problem that preys on so many people out there, where you need patience in order to.
Yeah, and this podcast is not going to help.
No, and I fully intend on putting a little word there when I when I posted up saying, this is a long podcast. So if you don't like Lei or you don't want to hear about Lei, don't listen
Don't
to this.
listen to
Yeah,
it at
because
all.
you're just
Oh
going to
my!
pull your hair out for how much
I'm
we're...
so sorry, everyone. I did not know that this character had this many moves, and I cared that much. But yeah, that's the only thing that really irritates me.
Accountability, I like it. I like it very much.
Yeah, be accountable. Don't be a scrub. Don't be a punk. I was a punk back in the day, so I realized, and I've atoned from my sinful ways, and I'm better for it. Yeah, and lastly, hating on the exalted. Don't hate on them. I'm a nice dude. Don't hate on me. No one really hates on me, but
I
I
was
know
going to say,
there's
it's like,
people out there.
I've never heard a bad word spoken about you, so I don't know who's
But
hating on you.
someone's out there. Oh, I have one more thing for the unknown player. There's a Lei player out there who's like playing at home. He's online. I don't know him, but he's better than me. Like extremely better than me. He's going to listen to this podcast and say, I'm a scrub. I don't know what I'm talking about. And I'm just mad that he's like hidden. That he's not coming, beat me, and put me in my place. So I'm calling him out too. I really hate him.
This random guy that no one knows.
The unknown Lei player that's like a master that, can do Razor Rush in one frame. That unknown dude. That guy I'm calling out.
Hilarious. All right, well, that's it for me. That's all I have. So if not necessarily any ranting, but if you have any last words, any shout-outs or anything.
Oh, shout-outs to New York City, New York Tekken.
Dude, you need to tell fucking Fab to get back to me, because I've had so many people ask me, like, you need to get Fab from Miguel. It's like, okay. Hold on, I have his cell number.
That's going to be the shortest podcast of all time, because he's going to tell them, stop being scrubs, don't do that, and do down forward 1 and block. That's going to be the entire podcast. I just did the Fab podcast right now, but down forward 1 and block.
Hilarious.
And be good. And be naturally good at the game. I'm joking
just
on you.
Be naturally good at the game.
Yeah, that helps Fab. Just being naturally good at Tekken, period.
Oh, wow.
But yeah, shout outs to New York Tekken, to everyone, all around. I'm generally, like you said, I'm cool with everyone. So love you all. That's it. That's all my shout outs.
Excellent. Well, with that, then I will end the podcast. Thank you very much for coming on and explaining this insanely complex character to all of us and bestowing your knowledge. I know every time somebody goes to a tournament, I know the object is always to win, but despite that, congratulations on your spot at final round.
Thank you. Thank you.
I've said this many times on our podcast, but Tekken is one of those games where when you go to a tournament, it's the hardest to play in because everyone knows what they're doing. So there's no random scrubs that you can go through 3 rounds and not have to worry about.
Unfortunately,
running into a beast. You always have to worry about that person on the other side of the screen. So congratulations on that. Thanks again for coming on, and thanks again everyone for sticking it out with us and getting to this point in the podcast. We will catch you later. Have a good.
Hopefully you edit this, man. Edit this.
No. I'm very against editing. I like to give it to everyone raw. You get what we talk about, and if we make mistakes, well, we are but human. It's how it goes. So cool. All right. Well, thanks a lot, and thanks everyone for listening, and we will catch you next time.